Hail adventurers, my name is Defi and welcome to my solo D&D series titled The Fates We Roll. Last episode, Gan and Alana met with a mysterious inviter, a blue tricksy tiefling by the name of Zarius Halimon. After a quick exchange of greetings and small talk, they were ambushed by 4 assassins. The battle was bloody and well fought, and the 3 managed to survive the assault, but with heavy wounds. After the fight, Zarius summoned some men to drag the dead bodies to the center of the arena in order to uncover some clues, and it's here we continue. Zarius' subordinates gathers the remains of the dead bodies. They hastily remove any scene of battle, moving broken bits of wood and stone, and washing away fresh blood pools with buckets of seawater. Gan is off to the side supporting Alana, who is currently fading in and out of consciousness, applying basic first aid and trying to stop the bleeding. Now that we have established the scene, I will talk about what leveling up mechanic I will be using. I will be using the experience method with a custom formula. The formula will be the total experience divided by the number of participants times 2. So each assassin, which used the bandit stat block from the monster manual, is worth 25 experience each. 100 for the 4 of them, divided by 3, which is 33 rounded down, times 2 brings up to 66. Also, I will include a kill bonus as well, being a 0.5 modifier rounded down. So instead of the base 25, it'll be 37. The EXP table looks like this, and I will include it at the end of every battle. Zarius, who was overseeing the cleanup team, walks up to Gan.
How is Miss Alana? She's stable now. That shot really did a number on her. Unless we find medical help, she's in for a night of pain. Don't worry, Mr. Gan. I know just the person.
Zarius raises his hand and beckons someone over. Out of the abandoned warehouse is a young human girl with flowing honey golden hair. She is wearing combat armor and is ready with weapon in hand. Also, she has a face that a certain tavern patron would remember.
I know you. The barmaid at the Burning Anvil.
Aye, that's right. Bet you were expecting me here, eh? Well, we could talk another time. Aye, one of you big lugs give me a hand here.
With a nod from Zarius, the blonde-haired girl and 2 henchmen lifts Alana and carries her into the warehouse.
Holly Shannon, our chief medic and information gatherer. She works at the Burning Anvil as an earworm, passing on any info to us.
So, is that how you came to know about me and Alana?
Well, yes and no. We were told you were coming, but not when. So, Holly has been on the lookout for you. It is when you 2 mentioned you were from Antarctica that we put 2 and 2 together. Anyway, we could talk later. We have more important business to attend to.
We ask the question, does Gan press on the matter, asking for more info before anything? Roll of 9 says maybe, suggesting we need to do a skill check. Gan, not wanting to create trouble for Alana, does a persuasion check. What Gan rolls will be transcribed into a Q&A result.
Okay, hold on. You ask us to meet you, and when we do, we've been involved in this fight, and I almost lost my partner. If anything, you owe me some answers, so how about that first? And depending on the answers, I might be more inclined to help.
Gan rolls a 6 for persuasion. On the Q&A table, that is a no.
Not now, Mr. Gan. Again, we will talk later when Miss Alana is awake and rested.
I promise. He puts his hand on Gan's shoulder, showing comfort and grins like he usually does. Serious walks over to the bodies to examine them and check for important items. So we ask the question, does the bodies have anything of importance on them? 8 says maybe, so Serious does an investigation check. He gets a nat 20 as he sticks his fingers and hands in every pocket and finds a bunch of things. We roll on the CR 1/8 loot table, but because Serious got a nat 20, I will roll for gold coins, silver coins and copper coins, and it will double the dice rolls. He found 20 gold coins, 39 silver coins and 46 copper coins. We'll roll some keywords to help structure the scene. We got ambush, collaborate, rejoice, and prophesize. Serious finds a crumpled up note in the inside pocket in one of the dead assassins' inner jacket. The note smells of cheap alcohol and tobacco. He opens it up to reveal a piece of purely unprofessional penmanship, but it's easy enough to read. It says,
This comes from the top, folks. You're to set an ambush and kill the blue bastard and as many selfies as you can. Also, kill the 2 runaways as well. An investor wants us to collaborate on this. If we could kill him too, we'll have a hefty sum in our way. That I can prophesize. Rejoice, my brothers and sisters. It's not every day we get a big payday.
Gan peers over Serious' shoulder.
Steelix. You know him?
We ask the question, does Serious know this Steelix? 9 says maybe. Serious rolls a history check to see if he can remember any outstanding names that people or the Sapphire Hands has mentioned. Serious rolls an 11. He has heard of the name before, but not exactly where and who it is, but does remember what race Steelix is. To determine this, we will roll on the NPC generation table, but just for the race. We rolled a 50, which is a human. We also rolled some keywords to determine the Steelix's character. We got Unite, Barter, Parley, and Stab.
I have heard of the name before. However, it was on the lips of other people within our trade. Let's see.
He loses himself in thought.
About 40 years ago, before the Hands was set up, this region was controlled by 6 or so different factions. They warred for control over certain territory and trade routes. However, a lieutenant of one of the gangs managed to convince not only his boss, but the boss of others to parley and come to a understanding. I mean, just like that, he managed to unite the gangs under one name and crest. I heard he expected to be the new boss because of what he did, but I think he was still an underling. However though, I heard he bartered and bribed his way to the second place spot, and when no one could stop him, he backstabbed the new leader in order to run this gang.
I see. So this Steelix is now head of this rival gang. So, what does he want? The Hands territory? I mean, Driftwood is an important place to have. Trade and tourism brings good coin here, it seems.
I have no idea. Well, I have to go and consult some people and call in a few leads. But for now, you should go into the well house and get a good night's sleep. And make sure Holly looks at that wound of yours.
Serious points at the wound on Gan's arm, and with that, he gives a grin and a wave before disappearing. Jan walks into the dimly lit warehouse. The place smells of damp and decay. Most of the windows are boarded up, and piles of broken bits of wood, rope, and metal litter the floor. Above, on one of the walls, is a picture of better days, it seems. A painting of a fish market, selling everything from cod to salmon. Further in, there is a table with an oil lamp, and next to it, a couple of makeshift beds are set up. One of them is cradling Helena, who is sleeping silently, but is still jerking in a bit of pain. Jan sits on his bed and sees a note on the table. It simply says, "I've done the best I could, and she should be fine in the morning. I'll arrive as the sun cracks and I'll replace her bandages and give her the all clear. Signed, Holly." The morning arrives, putting yesterday's event to memory. The sun's rays penetrates the many holes in the warehouse's wooden shell. Jan awakes and shakes off the groggy feeling in his head. As his eyes adjust, he sees Helena up and on her feet.
Shouldn't you be resting, missus?
Good morning to you too. Nah, I'm feeling a bit better. Whatever you or that blonde-haired girl did really did the job.
Aye, Holly. That's the girl at the bar. Well, whilst you're up, I'll tell you what I've learned.
Jan proceeds to tell Helena the story of 6 factions, the note found on the assassin, and about Steelix's story. Wow. The fact that the note mentioned 2 runaways, do you think it's referencing us? We do an oracle roll from the TSAT Part 2, as that has a little more direction with its rolls. We roll a 5, which is a straight up no.
I don't think so. Remember the story. This Steelix seems a crooked swine. He's bound to have some enemies, or possibly his own people turning tail and running. Look, we'll get our own answers in time. I mean, we don't know every detail of what happened that night back in Antarctica. So, until we help these hands in whatever they want doing, I'd say we keep our story quiet for the main part.
I agree. Well, we just need to see what happens then. We roll on the story elements table to determine what happens next. The way this works is we roll 4 times on the table. Whatever we get, we make that specific roll and combine everything to make the best scenario possible. We got an event, another event, a situation. For events, we got procession and amnesty. We got the keywords fair, boisterous, student and parent, and for creature we got a dog. As Jan and Alana gathers their equipment together, Holly arrives just like she promised.
Morning. I brought some breakfast straight from the anvil.
She holds up a steaming basket which contains a mixture of bread, cheeses, meats, and other delightful edibles.
Before you 2 eat, Alana, let me check your wound. Jan, do us a favour and turn around before I call you a word that I think will scar you for life.
She gives out a little giggle.
Alright. I'll leave you to be.
Jan goes outside to smell the morning sea air. Holly checks the wound and the bandages.
That's odd.
What is it? An infection?
No, it's healed well, it's just that the bandages are clean. I was expecting them to be covered in a little bit of blood. No matter. Let's get you ship-shaped and you two can eat.
After Helena gets fully dressed, the trio sits down to sup into their breakfast. A chorus of hums and grunts can be heard from Jan and Alana, since they didn't get a proper meal since leaving the ship.
So Holly, tell us a little about yourself. When did you join the hands, for example?
Holly lowers her sandwich.
Well,
I've been in the hands for about 2 years now, you see. I'm the daughter of a mercenary boss. The company isn't around anymore. It was absorbed into a much bigger corporation. Let's see, 6 years ago there was the Six Faction War. Yeah, Cyrus told us. Holly, does the name Steelix mean anything? We asked the question, has Holly heard of the name Steelix? 13 is a yes. We ask another question. Does Holly know exactly who he is? His profession, for example. We'll get a 9, which is a no but. So we ask, does Holly know any information about Steelix as a person? We got a 16, which is a yes. We'll roll some keywords and we'll roll on the disposition and economy table. Keywords, we got incongruous, foliage, change, and accomplice. On the disposition table, we got distracted and well off. Holly thinks long and hard about where she heard the name, scrapping together any shards of memory that fit together like a jigsaw. Aye, I've heard the name before. Let me think. He was known for settling the peace for the Six Factions. They were the Order of Stramus, the Kingdom of Galdia, the Hollowed Hearts, the Roots of Destiny, the Sky Piecers, and finally, the Chapter of Genesis. Each faction wanted control over Phatria, but kept coming to blows. Ah, I remember now. Steelix worked for my father's company for a long time. The Ash Reapers, they were called, by the way. I was told he was just a wash boy, nothing else. Kept to himself most of the time, but my father really took a shining to him for some reason. Anyway, for what I remember is this. After a few years or so, shortly before I joined to help my father, he changed. Apparently, he started to become incongruous, standing out even, and getting distracted at every little thing. It was very uncharacteristic of him. My father just accepted it, but I could see right through his foliage, if you know what I mean. I knew he was up to something. I did catch him one night speaking to someone. I just thought it was one of the guards since he became more popular and daring, let's say. The next morning, he was nowhere to be seen. We checked the base and his quarters, and his stuff were gone. We did find some notes about him meeting up with someone, that person promising in glory and riches. All he had to do was 2 things: win the trust of the leading commander, and steal some papers that whoever owned them owned the company. My father did look in his office, and sure enough, every single document was taken. After that, we searched high and low for him, but he disappeared without a trace. However, it was too late, as our license was revoked and most of the company members started to leave for lack of payment and security. My father took ill and, unfortunately, he resides at a care home here in Driftwood. We ran out of money for care, but luckily the hands came with an offer to make the monthly payments for us. In exchange, me and a small band of men work for them now. So that's how I'm here. The rest got hired by an unknown company, and that's that. So that's my past in a nutshell. Apart from that, I did go to communal school and was raised as a sister for many years. I left that order to train as a soldier, but I still kept my religious ways. Then I was scouted out by the Order of the Celestials in order to combine my soldier prowess with my religious knowledge to become a paladin. They did train me before I was reunited with my father, so I was the company's healer. Anyway, that's the backstory.
Interesting. Thank you for that, Holly.
So, when are we going to hear about you two's past? In time. Right now, all you lot need to know is that we're friendly. Once we speak to your boss, we'll exchange stories then. In all fairness, we have a long list of questions as well. Aye, the big man. He didn't tell us anything. He's to himself, him.
So, what's next? We take a tour of the port or what?
Just as Garn finished his sentence, a slight scuffing noise was heard by the front entrance of the warehouse. Peeking around the doorframe was a young girl wearing some posh clothes with some kind of a crest. She shyly grips on the door wearing a worried look, almost bursting to crying. Your next job while Sirius is looking into things. You'll be working with me today. You two didn't think we'll let you sit in your asses, right? Come on, chop chop. Who is this little girl? What's next on the agenda? All will be revealed next time.